Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
For this is what the Sovereign Lord says.
Why do you need prophets to tell people who you are and what you want?
If you can justify everything that the God of the Bible has done, then you can justify any of your behavior.
A lot of this mentality is trickling into what is now mainstream right-wing Christianity.
I am capable of empathy greater than this God of the Bible.
This is a Bible that they tell kids. This is the good Lord. This is the good book. He is fantasizing about murder, mass murder.
Head over to sacrilegiousdiscourse.com right now to find out how to leave us a review or support us on Patreon.
Hey there, sinners and saints. It's your favorite Bible-bashing duo from Sacrilegious Discourse, and we need your help.
That's right, folks. We're raising funds for some heavenly equipment and a studio that doesn't sound like it's in the depths of hell.
Our current setup, let's just say it's more apocalypse than audiophile.
So if you want to hear us dissect the Bible without the background noise of demonic squirrels, chip in a few bucks.
We're aiming for $5,000 to upgrade our audio and build a studio worthy of blasphemous banter.
Donate today and help us spread the good word of atheism.
You can find a link right on our homepage, sacrilegiousdiscourse.com. Every dollar counts.
Even if it's from your collection plate. Husband!
Wife!
Are you ready to do a thing?
I am ready to do a thing.
Do you know what we're doing today?
It's
been
1 week since we did a podcast. And I believe we're going to be kind of finishing up the Pentateuch with the recovering of the timelines and stuff.
The Pentadouche.
Yeah, sure. That's what you've been calling it.
That's what I just started calling it this morning.
Yeah.
And it felt so good. And I was like, God damn it, wasted opportunity. Why haven't I been calling it this the whole fucking time?
It stuck all the way till this evening.
It did.
When we did the podcast live on Discord, by the way, which you should be there. And the link's in the show notes. So go click on that link and join us on Discord because it's fucking fun.
It is fucking fun.
And you just have to wade through an hour of us talking about bullshit before you get to the actual podcast, or show up around 11.
But if you wait till 11, you'd be missing out on an opportunity to join in with all of our friends on Discord who trash me for an hour.
Yeah. Before we get into the actual content today.
Yes.
Wife and I have been discussing the future of our podcast.
The future.
And I know we have said a million different revisions to our timeline and our schedule as to what we're planning on doing.
It's almost like we don't have our shit together, but we're earnest. We're trying so hard.
But we do want to come up with something solid, and we think we finally have what we're going to do set-ish.
It requires us planning ahead and working ahead.
Right. So the way this probably is going to work, because we want to do Maccabees, we want to get into the New Testament sooner rather than later.
And we want to read all these things without taking 10 years each.
Yes. And the way it would work out, even if we read Maccabees on a once-a-week schedule, we'd be here for another year before we get into the New Testament, which we don't want to do.
Right. We want to hit Matthew sooner than later.
Yeah. So
I said hit Matthew.
So what we're planning on doing is we're going to record 3 episodes on one of my days off, and then those will be scheduled out for the next week to go out after they go live on Patreon that first week. So Patreon members will have access to 3 episodes that launch approximately a week before anybody else gets to hear them. And then we'll be doing those 3 episodes on the regular schedule, which will have, right now it'll be Maccabees, and then it'll transition into the New Testament after we get done with Maccabees. Our Tuesday lives on Discord will be specials-ish. They're going to be our ones that we're doing that are outside of the regular Bible reading. So that way, if you want to join us on the live, you're not required to be up to date on whatever it is we're covering.
Not that that was ever a thing you needed to be current with to join in anyway, but maybe this will entice you to jump in and you won't feel like you should have listened to the previous week's chapter of whatever.
Right. So that's the we're going to go back to a 4 episodes a week format, and patrons will finally have a benefit which we have not done up until this point. So
we had the best of intentions. We mean well.
It's really hard being podcasters, honestly, especially if it's not your full-time gig. Like, we don't have anybody helping us run the show. Right. It's just you and me. Yeah, and it's not the easiest thing to keep up with, honestly.
No, not when you have a full-time job and family obligations and things and stuff.
But we're doing our best here. Yep. And we mean well.
And we were doing our best when we had more than one episode going out per week. So we're going to try to get back on that kind of crazy schedule.
Well, we want to finish the damn Bible at some point. Mm-hmm, so that's the goal.
Before I die.
Right, I mean, ideally, yes.
I mean, I'm turning 50 in a few weeks, and you know what happens when you turn 50. Like, your arms and legs just fall off, and then you die.
Right, yeah, obviously.
That's what I heard anyway.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
I'll let you know when I'm on the other side.
Hopefully we get done then.
I'm older than you.
Yeah. All right. So we're finishing up the recap of timelines on the Pentateuch today.
The Pentadouche. That is correct.
You ready to do this?
I sure as fuck am.
Let's do it.
Okie dokie. Pentadouche, don't be so shallow. What? I just wanted to sing it.
Yeah.
And then so we already did the fuck out of Genesis.
Hold on, you were speaking of singing, and we were talking about it on the Discord. I just got to give a quick shout out to Candy Carpenter.
Yeah.
For singing, because if you don't know who she is,
you should,
and you're an atheist or secular or anything, you should totally go check out Candy Carpenter's new album, because
it goes hard.
It's amazing. It's fantastic. Mm-hmm. You'll thank us later, I promise.
Yeah.
That's all.
Thank you for stepping on my coattails, because now
I'm sorry for stepping on your Pentadouche.
They will know how much I can't sing even more, and that's just mean and hurtful. So anyway, we did the fuck out of Genesis. We spent like 3 weeks or something.
Yeah.
Going back over the timeline, and now we're gonna finish up the Pentadouche all in one day.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we want to get to fucking Maccabees.
Yeah, I'm done with the Pentadouche. Okay, and I know I'm overdoing it now. I've said Pentadouche way too many times.
You have.
I know, and that's how I roll.
It is.
So we're doing Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, no, we already did Exodus too.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So we're just doing 3.
There you go.
Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Did you?
There was rules. They counted people, and then
basically.
Wait, what was the last one?
Joshua.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then he died.
Right.
And gave the shit to
we're
Joshua.
done. Okay, see you next week.
Right. Yeah. So, but let's recap Leviticus a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
It's also called "And He Called." And he called. He'll keep calling. I'll go. I was being Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, okay.
Because Ferris is like bothering Cameron, and Cameron is like, he'll keep calling.
I literally only know one quote from that movie, and
you only know one quote ever.
Bueller.
You only know one quote. Like, that's the quote that you know for life. That's it. You know no other quotes.
I know some other quotes.
Really? Do you?
Yeah.
What's another quote that you know?
It's not a tumor.
Okay, that was pretty good. All right, so Leviticus is basically about the laws that are given at Sinai.
Yeah.
The end, right?
Yeah.
So
twice. Well, once, but he broke the first fucking set. So,
right.
Yeah.
Do you remember when this thing takes place? When this book takes place?
A long fucking time ago?
It takes place roughly 1 month following the completion of the tabernacle. Immediately after the tabernacle had been set up at the end of Exodus. Okay?
Got it. So they built the tent and then they climbed a mountain.
Yeah.
Okay.
I climbed a mountain and I turned around. Yeah. The landslide, you know.
Yeah, I got it.
Anyway, the setting is after Israel's escaped from Egypt, which happened in Exodus.
Yeah.
You know, they got out.
Right.
But before they resumed traveling through the wilderness. So they haven't done their little 40 years of wildernessy things yet. Okay.
I never did really. So they were like chasing them out of Egypt, right? Because there was the whole Red Sea parting thing.
Yeah. They were like,
the thing I never really understood, because there was all those plagues and shit that, and then they were leaving, right?
Yeah.
It didn't feel like when they were leaving that they were like running away, but then all of a sudden there's people chasing them and they had to lose them in the Red Sea.
Yeah.
Like I missed that transition from where I must have, I forget.
Because Pharaoh kept saying, yeah, I'll let you go. And then he was like, psych, I won't. And so he kept going back and forth. And so the last time, after all of those plagues, Pharaoh was like, yeah, totally get the fuck out. Take your plagues and go, bitch. And so Moses was like, message received, asshole. And so then they were like marching out. And then Pharaoh was like, for the 500th time, just kidding. And so then he came after them again.
But it might have taken them a little while to get the forces together because they just had all their firstborns killed.
Right, so exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that's where Moses is like, oh, fuck me. Now I got to split the Red Sea. God damn it. Yeah.
It didn't make sense to me, really.
Well, that's because Pharaoh kept going back and forth. You could never tell how he felt on any given day.
It's also because none of it actually happened. But, I mean, you know, that's a whole other story.
Exactly.
Actually, no, it's the same story, but it's just...
Right. Yeah. So after they get out of Egypt, they do their little exodus and they cross the Red Sea, what the fuck ever, and then they get to the mountain, okay?
Right. Mount Sinai.
Yeah. And so that's where this book starts.
Okay.
Right after they got there. Okay.
Yep.
It covers a very short time frame. It's roughly a month during Israel's stay at Sinai. The whole book takes place in about a month. Okay. Between the end of Exodus and the beginning of Numbers.
Got it.
Okay. So this whole book is just a month. Okay. That's weird because some of the other books are way longer.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Didn't he spend like 40 days on top of Mount Sinai?
Yeah.
Twice?
Just hear me out. Just hear me out.
Okay. All right.
The events take place entirely at the foot of Mount Sinai. Okay. Hear me out.
Okay, I'm hearing.
Unlike the other books, Leviticus does not move the timeline forward much at all.
Okay, sure.
And the content focuses on morals, laws, rituals, sacrifices, purity, instructions. Remember, this is all the rules and numbers and all of that. Okay. The festivals, holiness codes. This is laws and codes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leviticus is basically an instruction manual for how the Israelites were supposed to worship, live, and stay ritually clean while God was dwelling among them in the tabernacle.
Okay.
Just hear me out. Okay?
I'm that's what I'm doing.
You just look so confused. So I'm just like, just hang tight. Don't ask your questions yet.
But you said the whole thing happened at the foot of Mount Sinai, but I'm like, he went to the top of it.
Don't ask your questions yet.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Hold your questions for the end.
Sure.
Okay? This book is about how to live ethically and ritually as God's people, and it answers the question, how can a holy God live among an imperfect people? Now, to me, the answer is there is no holy God because this God is a little douchebag and he lives in a temple or a tabernacle, a little tent pipe. And because, he's a column of smoke sometimes and he's a whirlwind sometimes. Like, what the fuck ever.
Sure.
Yeah. Speaking of holy, though, the word holy appears over 150 times just in this fucking little book.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Just in Leviticus, okay?
Yeah.
Many ancient Jewish children begin today their Torah studies with Leviticus to learn holiness.
Okay.
Crazy, right?
I mean, yeah.
And it's always been like that, I guess. Whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
Leviticus isn't story-driven, so things don't happen. This is just about rules and laws and rituals.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
There are very few characters in this book. The main ones are God. Most of the book is God speaking directly, making it one of the most speech-heavy books in the Bible. And he's giving the laws and the instructions.
Right.
Okay. Another character is Moses, who acts as the mediator between God and the people. So if God is giving the laws, Moses is receiving and relaying the laws. So their relationship is giving and receiving. And that's just funny to me because God's giving it and Moses is receiving it. Oh, yeah, he is. Okay, another character, of course, is Aaron, who is Moses' brother.
Yeah.
And he's also the first high priest. Mm-hmm. He's not just the first high priest, he's the first of all the high priests.
Okay.
Like, he's the very first one that they're like, hey, let's make somebody a high priest. That sounds like a really cool position.
Just as opposed to a regular priest.
Well, his sons become part of the priestly line.
Got it.
So they're like, let's have some priests. And who's going to be the boss of those priests? We'll call him the high priest. And he was the first big boss priest. Okay?
Yeah.
So Aaron, go Aaron. Okay? And then the other characters in this book are Nadab and Abihu. Do you remember who they are and what happened to them?
Nadab and Abihu.
Abihu.
I do not remember.
Those are Aaron's sons.
Oh, those fuckers died.
They offer strange fire.
Strange fire.
Yeah, and they're killed by God. Yeah, they picked up sticks on the wrong fucking day.
Well, no, that was somebody else.
Whatever.
The more I think about it, it feels like maybe they were smoking weed in the tent.
That could be. That could be. Their story, however, explains the seriousness of the priestly responsibilities. Like, it weighs so heavily that even Moses' nephews will die. Yeah. They will get smote.
Right.
That's how seriously you need to take this shit.
But
we will smite the fuck out of you.
But later, rapists and criminals who are just terrible people will just not die.
Well, yeah.
So
it just depends on what we need the story to say.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So just briefly, here's a recap of the book. Okay. The first 7 chapters are sacrifices. They're rituals protecting the sacred space. And it goes over different kinds of offerings. Like, remember, they had the peace offerings, the grain offerings.
You got to splatter the blood on the right wall.
Yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
Each offering had its own purpose and rules. Okay. Mm-hmm. The next 3 chapters, 8 through 10, are about the priesthood, the consecration of Aaron and his sons, and that's when Nadab and Abihu die.
Got it. Okay. Is that where they talk about the like all the things that the priesthood has to wear and all that shit too?
I think so. Yeah. Or no. Yeah, probably. Okay. It's somewhere in this book.
The truth is we don't know for sure.
Right.
Because that's not in your notes.
No, yeah. Well, I was looking at, because I have this broken down, and I think actually maybe not. It might be coming up. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But the next few chapters, 11 through 15, are about the ritual purity. And that's the separation of the clean versus the unclean and the sacred versus the common. Okay. Do you remember all that? Like cloven hooved, don't eat that, shit like that?
Right.
Chapter 16 is about the Day of Atonement. Sin has a cost and rituals will repair the relationship when you sin. You can repair it just by, cleansing yourself.
Right.
They have a major yearly ritual for national forgiveness.
That's the goat thing where they send it into the woods, right?
And it includes the famous scapegoat. Yeah. That is correct. Yeah, and that is where that term literally comes from.
Right.
The scapegoat.
Yeah. We were very excited to find out about that.
Yeah, because I love word history. And just to think that it's national forgiveness.
Right.
Like, you're responsible for your individual. You have to do all of these rituals to keep yourself individually clean and forgiven.
Right.
But then nationally, just for anybody who has missed it, they have one. And that all the sin goes into the goat. And that's why movies and stories depict goats as evil creatures, because it collectively has all of the sins in it.
So why don't we think of Jesus as an evil creature? Because he was basically like the goat, only with sans horns.
Because he's innocent.
The goat wasn't innocent?
I don't know how it works, because I'm not God or Christian.
Horrible goats. Goddamn goats.
I'm none of the above, so I don't get it. But the next several chapters, 17 through 26, are about the holiness code. And I'm wondering if maybe the dress falls under here. Like how they dress with all the pomegranates and whatnot, and the thummim and the Pumin or whatever the fuck they're called.
Right, yeah.
Thuman and Pumin. I don't know what the fuck they're called. But it's basically their medicine bags and their like chest cover things.
Yeah, it was something they wore.
Their priestly
their
attire. Their garments, yeah.
We did like a whole episode, I think, we talked a lot about
we
them.
did.
I can't remember the Thummim, I think, was definitely one of them. I can't remember.
Oh, it was, yeah. The Holiness Code talks a lot about caring for the poor and the vulnerable. And so they go over the rules for how Israel should live. The Holiness Code contains some of the earliest ethical legislation about protecting the disabled, fair labor practices, land redistribution in the Jubilee.
Yeah.
That's every 7 years. They like do a do-over.
Yeah.
And then treating foreigners fairly. So, I mean, this was like some pretty forward-thinking shit.
Yeah, so we actually talked a lot about that at the time.
Yes,
like
we did.
the Pentateuch, especially, with regard to how it treated, how they created rules for some of the less fortunate, was pretty progressive for, comparatively speaking.
It was
right?
early socialism, kind of.
But, I mean, that's not to say that, the God wasn't shitty. The God was murdery and,
but
shitty.
They collectively decided as a people to care for each other, even the most downtrodden among them.
It reminds me a lot of American politics because you start out with this like wonderful idea of what things should be. And then the people, say priests or politicians,
or both in some cases,
start gaining more power. And then it starts swaying towards more, those people have the power versus the poor.
Yeah.
And the less fortunate.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. As if the poor and misfortunate ever had any power. Like, they're poor and unfortunate. All we're doing is agreeing that we should help take care of each other.
Right.
They never had the power. The people in power always had the power. They just decided it wasn't fucking enough.
He-Man has the power.
He does. And he also has a girlfriend who's an eagle. The sorceress. Yeah. Because they fuck.
And he's a boob.
You boob. Leviticus chapter 19 contains the famous line, love your neighbor as yourself. Yeah. And a lot of progressive Christians who are not MAGA quote that at their MAGA brethren saying, y'all are doing Christianity wrong.
Yeah, it's just that, you can find as many things to quote in the Bible that would lend itself to shittiness too. So, I mean, really, you can take the Bible to say whatever the fuck you want.
No, you can. You can. And I'm not trying to defend Christianity as a whole. I am trying to say that there are good people who are trying to fight fire with fire. Like, they're using the Bible correctly. They're like, you're cherry picking the wrong things.
Sure. No,
they're trying to take Jesus's message.
I don't want to take away from the fact, well, we're talking about God's message right now, not Jesus's message, because we're not even in the New Testament.
Well, but when we talk about Christians, that is New Testament.
I think what you're getting at is that there are ways to, we don't want to turn, essentially when it comes right down to it, you and I, and many of the people that listen to our podcast, we are progressive. And we have progressive ideas as to how people should be treated and how society should be more equitable and fair, right? And
it's ridiculous that that's considered progressive and radical, but yes.
But there are certain aspects in some portions of the Bible that agree with that, and there are some portions that can be interpreted otherwise. And it's not to say that either one is wrong, other than the fact that there is no God and whatever. But it's just to say that there are different factions, and definitely I'm going to agree with the more progressive faction of Christianity than I am with the more conservative faction that seems to want to treat human beings as pawns and commodities. So,
Well, the thing is the whole thing is full of bullshit. So if you're going to cherry pick, why would you on purpose cherry pick the Nazi side, the bad guy side, the losing side?
Do you really want an answer to that?
No. It's quite rhetorical. I understand why they're choosing it. It's gross.
Yeah.
Like, they never realized, like, oh my God, you guys, you are literally being the stormtroopers from Star Wars. You're on the wrong side. You're doing it wrong. Like,
right.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So anyways, the chapter 27 finishes off that book with instructions for dedicating people or property to God. So vows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So this is not what you thought it was. Okay. Leviticus is not that book. Okay.
It's not that. Okay.
That's not where that shit happens. It all takes place at the bottom of the mountain. Okay.
Wait, the shit about shrimp and everything happens at the bottom of the mountain?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. All of that is at the bottom of the mountain.
Right.
Yeah.
But okay.
The author of Leviticus, traditional Jewish views claim that Moses wrote it or dictated it to Joshua. Modern scholarship believe that it was compiled as part of a priestly source marked as P, and the final form. Remember when we talked about the P?
Yeah, there was like 4 groups.
And the
the J's or whatever.
Yeah, well, this book is the P group, the priestly source.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
The final form was likely completed during or after the Babylonian exile, so 6th or 5th, somewhere between the 6th and the 5th century BCE.
Okay. Yeah.
Either way, it's ancient priestly teaching organized into a single book. So this is their rule book.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now we move into Numbers. Okay.
Yeah.
Numbers is also called In the Desert of. Okay. This is where we get the census, the rebellions, the wilderness wanderings. Jewish tradition sometimes calls the book of Numbers in the wilderness instead of the book of Numbers.
Right. I think we actually talked about that at the time too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This book picks up right after Leviticus and ends right before Deuteronomy, and it covers about 38 to 40 years total. Okay.
Yep.
Year 2 after the Exodus, starting at Mount Sinai, and it covers the long wandering period, and it ends near year 40 on the plains of Moab, just before entering Canaan. Okay. Numbers tells the story of Israel's journey from Mount Sinai to the edge of the Promised Land. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's about organizing the people, traveling through the wilderness, their repeated failures, God's guidance, and the rise of a new generation. And somehow, I totally forgot about that whole, old generation versus new generation thing.
Yeah.
But it's a whole thing.
Right.
I don't think I paid a lot of attention during Numbers. The name Numbers comes from the fact that they did 2 censuses.
Yes.
Okay. One at the beginning and one near the end.
Both of which I don't think God liked.
God did not like either of those.
Yeah.
He is not pleased. Right. So the main characters in this book are God. He guides, judges, and provides info and shit like that.
Yeah.
And birds and whatever.
Right.
Throws birds and manna at him.
Yeah.
Moses, who is the main leader and mediator.
Right.
Aaron, Moses' brother, the high priest, until his death in chapter 20. And Miriam, who is their sister, Moses and Aaron's sister.
Right.
She's the prophetess, and she challenges Moses, and she dies of old age.
But you forget that she was never allowed to speak after that.
And because she had leprosy, but God was cured of it.
Fucked her over.
Yeah.
So
he tried to fuck her over. The people were pretty upset about that. So he took her leprosy back, but he did make her keep her silence. Yeah. Yeah. So, because women should be quiet. Recently, on an Air Force One, when a journalist asked Trump a question he didn't like, and he looked at her and said, "Quiet, piggy." Yeah.
Yeah, that's an actual thing that happened.
Yeah.
There's an article.
In the Atlantic.
Is it the Atlantic?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was the Atlantic.
Okay.
That's what your mom sent us.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, I read that and I was just seething with rage. Could you imagine somebody just saying, "Quiet, piggy"?
Yeah.
Excuse the fuck out of you? What the fuck did you just say to me, sir?
Look, it doesn't really matter, I don't think, at this point, because it's
such a personal attack.
In a few more days, we're going to be hearing excuses as to why it's okay that he's on the Epstein list. So,
I mean, Megyn Kelly already tried to tone down she was 15, not 5.
right.
Like they're trying to soften the pedophilia.
Oh, yeah, because
sex
there's
slave
no way
trade.
out of it at this point, basically.
No. So they're trying to run that by audiences to make sure that we know that it's fine that he raped 15-year-olds.
Yeah. I'm curious how this will go, but whatever. It's a thing we are dealing with, and it's a thing that's there. So what else can we say about it, I guess?
It's not a good day for America.
It's not a good couple of years.
No.
Yeah.
So, the characters were God, Moses, Aaron, Miriam, and there's some other ones I'm going to name here in a minute, but those are of the old generation. They die off gradually, but those are the only ones that are named of the old generation.
Okay.
That's crazy to me. Like, I didn't catch that the first time through.
Yeah.
Okay. Other characters who are not of the old generation include Joshua and Caleb. They are 2 faithful spies who later lead the new generation.
Okay.
Balak, the Moabite
Balak.
king who tries to curse Israel.
Right.
Balaam, the foreign prophet hired to curse Israel, but ends up blessing them. And his talking donkey appears here. Yeah, one of the Bible's only talking animals besides the serpent.
Wait, who did you say that was?
Balaam.
Okay,
and his talking ass.
Right.
Yeah, my ass always be talking. And finally, the characters Korah, Dathan, or Dathan, whatever, and Abiram. They are leaders of a rebellion against Moses and Aaron.
Yeah, that didn't go over so well either.
It did not.
Yeah.
It did not. Okay, so here is a brief summary of the book of Numbers. Okay?
Yeah.
There's, in chapters 1 through 10, we get the first census and camp organization. Okay, it begins 1 year after the Exodus. We're still at Mount Sinai. The first of 2 national censuses takes place, and 12 tribes are counted. Okay, The Levites are assigned to priestly roles. The camp is arranged around the tabernacle, and Israel departs Sinai after about a year there in its initial march toward Canaan. Okay, so they're ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Then in chapters 11 through 20, we get complaints and rebellions because they were like, but I'm late tired. And they're like, but I'm fucking hungry and this manna sucks.
Right.
Yeah. So major failures. They complain about food. And then Miriam and Aaron criticize Moses, but only Miriam gets punished.
Yeah.
Which is also some bullshit.
Aaron did lose his sons.
He had that already.
I mean, granted, that was fire, but yeah.
Yeah. 12 spies are sent into Canaan. Remember? And they came back and they were like, these people are fucking huge. This is not going to go well, but God said we can do it, right?
Sure, yeah.
But the people refused to enter the land. So their rebellion at Kadesh Barnea leads to God's decree that this generation will wander for 40 years and die in the wilderness. He's like, fine, you don't have to go. Fuck you, though.
Yeah, and that explains why they didn't make the, 5-day walk?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Korah's rebellion leads to a dramatic punishment.
Yeah.
Wherein, several thousand die or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Ridiculous, like over the fucking top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there was like earthquakes and fire and was that the same time there were snakes?
No, that's coming up though.
Oh, okay.
That's coming up.
All right.
Okay. Moses's big mistake at Meribah, he got really fucking frustrated and he struck a rock. And that led to his disqualification from entering the promised land.
Because that rock might have been Jesus.
I guess.
That's what I hear. Somebody said that it might have been Jesus.
Okay.
I don't know. I heard that once.
I didn't know that rocks could be Jesus.
I didn't either, but...
Now I'm going to start hitting all the rocks. Hitting the rocks. That's the name of my next band. All right. So then the next chapters, 21 through 36, are about the new generation and the journey north because Miriam and Aaron are dead. Okay. Yeah. So focus shifts to the new generation preparing to enter Canaan. This is where we get the serpent plague and the bronze serpent. And the bronze serpent becomes important later. Do you remember why?
Not Not exactly.
King Hezekiah destroys it because people start worshiping it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, because it's a magic
They did love
wand.
their idols back then.
They really did.
You know?
Yeah. There are battles against Sihon and Og. Love me some Og.
Yeah.
Og of Bashan. Yeah. 2 major Transjordan kings. We win both of those. Yay! Go team, right? Yeah. The Balaam cycle happens with the oracles and the blessings and the messianic sounding language, and it's like nuts. And it was so boring to read, but the story was exciting. Like, I remember having very conflicted feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Israel camps in Moab, east of the Jordan. And then the second of 2 national censuses happens.
Yeah.
The land is assigned to tribes who want to settle east of the River Jordan. So that's where Reuben, Gad, and half of Manasseh stay.
Yeah.
Manasseh.
Right.
And then they start prepping for entering the land of Canaan. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So who is the author? Do we know?
Moses
wrote it. Of course he did.
Yeah,
no,
obviously.
he didn't. But that's the traditional view, though.
Right.
Of course.
Yeah.
Or that, it was transcribed by Joshua from Moses. Modern scholarship believes that it was compiled from multiple sources. The priestly sources, that's the P, or the Yahwists, which is the J source, and the Elohist, Elohim guys.
Yeah.
Those are the E sources.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Final editing was likely completed during or after the Babylonian exile.
Got it.
So they were still stapling this together.
Right.
Way later.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, regardless, it preserves very old wilderness tradition. Okay.
Sure. Yep.
So then we get into Deuteronomy. And this is the last book of the Pentadouche. Okay.
Yeah.
The word Deuteronomy means second law, not a new law, but a review and renewal of the covenant.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So that's what this book is about.
Was there a lot of holding each other's balls in this book? Is that the one?
That sounds right.
Okay.
I'm not going to say yes or no because I don't know.
I could be wrong about that, but I feel like this is where they held each other's balls a lot.
Probably.
Okay.
Deuteronomy's style is preachy, emotional, and rhetorical, unlike the legal tone of Leviticus.
Yeah.
So they probably were holding each other's balls
Right.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Putting their hands against each other's thighs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the polite way of saying they were cupping their balls.
Cut my balls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because and the defense of this is that it's just our weird social taboos of today that think that there's anything weird about that, because it was a way of showing trust, since your balls are the most sensitive part of your body.
Yeah.
You're literally entrusting yourself to people when you are allowing them to hold the most sensitive part of you.
Right.
And so today we'd say, I swear on my mother's grave. Back then they would say, I swear on these fucking sensitive ball sacks.
Yeah, it was like a pinky promise, but way more sexually,
Right. Well, the thing is, we're laughing, but it wasn't sexual.
I know.
I mean,
in today's standards.
Yeah. Right. I'm trying to look at this through a blah 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 scholarly. It's still. They were still holding each other's balls.
Right. It's funny.
It is funny,
regardless of how it was perceived back then.
Yeah. It's still nothing that would ever happen today.
Right.
Okay. Because no. You do not want.
But
people...
this is the shit that Christians would probably deny, full on, most of them, your average Christian, right? Because they don't want this perception of weirdness from their Bible.
I honestly do not know, because I literally had a talk with my parents about this.
Yeah.
And they were aware.
Really?
Yeah. My mom was explaining that's the most sensitive part. How could it not be trustworthy? It totally makes perfect sense. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay. So, I feel like that's something that gets glossed over maybe most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not saying that all average Christians know it, but I would say that it's a far stretch to say that is true, that most Christians don't.
Right.
I honestly have no idea what most Christians do or don't know.
Not being a Christian, I don't have a good reference for that.
So. Right, exactly. I would be curious, like, is this common knowledge among Christians?
Right.
But
no, I would too.
The reason that I would have that, I don't actually know, is because, like I said, my parents are super Christian, MAGA Christian.
Yeah.
And they knew it. So maybe it is common. I don't fucking know.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe like things that have balls in them are always like the most interesting part. And so they all know that part real good.
Right.
Who knows? This book takes place over a very short time, probably within only a few weeks to maybe a couple months at most. Deuteronomy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It directly follows the events of Numbers, and it's about year 40 after the Exodus, right before the book of Joshua, who of course leads them into Canaan. When we get there.
Right.
And this book ends with Moses' death.
Right.
Okay.
And non-entry into Canaan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It takes place entirely on the plains of Moab, just across the Jordan River east of Canaan.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Deuteronomy is essentially Moses' farewell speeches to the new generation of Israelites, reviewing Israel's history and reiterating the law right before they enter the promised land and he dies.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
It retells and reinterprets earlier laws. It reminds Israel of their history. It calls them to loyalty to God. It lays out blessings and curses, and it appoints Joshua as the next leader.
Okay.
Which is very important because he was one of the spies and he was one of the ones, that was sent over into Canaan originally. So like, he's already kind of been there, right? Like, he's like, there's fucking giants over there. We'll never get through.
Yeah.
And, all the people were like, oh, fuck that. We can't fight giants. And Joshua was one of the ones that was loyal to Moses and God, saying, no, we got this. We can do it. We can do it.
Yeah.
And that's why he gets chosen as the new generation, because as the leader of the new generation.
He trusted.
Yeah. He proved himself.
Right.
As like the guy, as God, he's God's guy. He's Moses' guy. He's got this.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting that like Moses didn't have any kids or whatever. Or if he did, they weren't very important.
Right.
They don't get a mention.
Yeah.
And Aaron's sons, they're over there busy being priests, except for the two that got smited.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this dude, he was one of the spies that was like, we totally got this. And then was like, womp womp, I guess we get to wander for 40 years instead because y'all are ass bucks. And so he gets to be the new leader though.
Right. Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
For him. Like, I don't fucking care, but it's cool for him.
Sure.
So the main characters in this book are Moses, who is the central speaker. He recaps history, gives laws, blesses the tribes, and then dies. Okay. The next main character is God.
Yeah.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah. He is the one making the covenant, giving the warnings, and promising the blessings. The way he do.
Yeah.
The next main character is Joshua, who is the chosen successor who will lead Israel across the Jordan and who gets a whole book to himself after Deuteronomy.
Yeah.
It's still part of the Deuteronomistic history.
Right. Right.
Which I'm so excited that I said that correctly.
Yeah. Wasn't the next like 3 books were
Joshua,
still part
Judges,
of,
Ruth.
Yeah. They were still part of that whole
Deuteronomistic history.
Right.
Yeah. Also the name of a Love It album, was it?
Yes.
Yes. Joshua, Judges, Ruth.
Yep.
Yeah. The last character is the Israelites themselves, like the whole group, specifically the new generation, those born during the wilderness years.
Yeah.
Okay. In summary, we get chapters 1 through 4, and that's Moses's first speech. Okay. He gives this whole fucking history lesson. He recaps all the events from Sinai to the wilderness to Moab, and he warns against idolatry. Because remember, he did not like that.
Yeah, they railed
like
against those idols the entire Old Testament.
Not cool.
Yeah. They never went away.
Nope. They literally did not.
Even though they said they did multiple times.
Right. They didn't.
Right.
Next comes chapters 5 through 28. And that's where we get his second speech, which are about laws. And these include the 10 Commandments repeated. And we get the centralization of worship, the place God will choose. We get justice and care for the poor and tithes. We talk about festivals, kingship guidelines, prophets and priests, clean and unclean food, and then we do blessings and curses.
Yeah.
Okay, Moses got so much to say.
Right.
Okay. Then we got his third speech. Like, Jesus, dude, just die already. Okay, this is chapters 29 through 30, and he goes over the covenant renewal. We get punishments for disobedience and promises that God will restore them if they repent. And this is where we get that line, choose life. I don't know if you recall that, but that was like a big deal.
Sure.
Okay. Final act of Moses, chapters 31 through 34. He commissions Joshua as the new leader. He writes down the law. We get the Song of Moses that I tried to sing. You remember?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. He blesses the tribes, and then he dies on Mount Nebo in view of the promised land. God buries him, and the death of Moses is told in a very unique, solemn way. Like, woo, no one knows his burial place.
Right.
Woo.
But that doesn't stop people from theorizing.
Sure. Who's the author?
Moses.
Of course.
Yeah.
He wrote the speeches and the laws.
Right.
And then Joshua or the scribes added the ending about Moses' death. Afterwards.
See, now I feel like he still wrote it because he already knew.
Yeah.
Well, like, fuck it.
He was still alive.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm dead alive.
He's like writing it right up until the moment of his death.
He's like, and then I went. Yeah. But for realsies, though, many scholars think King Josiah's Book of the Law, which is 2 Kings chapter 20, is referenced in 2 Kings chapter 22.
Yeah.
Was an early form of Deuteronomy.
Huh.
Yeah. Modern scholarship believes that Deuteronomy is the core of the Deuteronomistic tradition, which also shaped all the books between Josiah and Kings.
Okay.
Which is
the Deuteronomistic history.
Yeah.
Which is Joshua judges Ruth, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was likely written and or compiled in stages with major editing during King Josiah's reforms. So we're talking like 7th century BCE.
Yep.
And finalized during or after the Babylonian exile, which just kills me. Like, the Babylonian exile is when the entire fucking Old Testament was still getting stapled together.
Yeah.
Like, all of the different books.
No, if it wasn't for the fucking Babylonian exile, we might not have Christianity.
Right?
You know?
Exactly.
Fuckers.
Like, basically, the Babylonians fucked all of mankind for perpetuity when they sent these people into exile and caused them to want so desperately to remain a people. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So either way, it's presented as Moses' last words to Israel, and Deuteronomy heavily influences later biblical books like Joshua, Samuel, and Kings. And then in the New Testament, Jesus quotes Deuteronomy more than any other book of the Old Testament during the temptation narratives.
Okay.
Which, from what I understand, he's like being tempted by Satan.
I mean, that's what I would assume.
He's like, no, stop it. When he's out in like the wilderness or whatever. Because Jesus does his own wilderness walk.
Got it.
I think.
Yeah. As they do.
As they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wander around.
You know, everybody got to be wandering around for 40 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Or at least a week.
It's a thing. Was that all you got?
That's the Pentadouche.
That's the Pentateuch. Okay.
And we're done.
We're done.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that probably the next time, the next time that everybody hears an episode, it'll still be whatever we're doing on our Tuesday live.
Mm-hmm.
But shortly following that, there will be
an intro to Maccabees.
And maybe more episodes coming up after that shortly too, because we're going to be scheduling them out at that point.
And the episode, the pre-recorded episode for the next one following the intro to Maccabees will be Maccabees chapter 1.
Right.
And I'm sorry, I'm saying Maccabees, but I should be more specific. It's First Maccabees.
First Maccabees.
So we'll do an intro to First Maccabees and then First Maccabees chapter 1.
Okay.
Those are the next couple episodes. Our next live, if you don't mind, I would like to, as much as possible, do a quick, like what I just did tonight.
Yeah.
Of more of the Old Testament.
Yeah, sure.
Because I still want to do that.
No, I got you. That's fine.
And I'll try to keep it brief. Like, I just covered 3 books today.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's great. Okay. So we're going to move on into Maccabees and continue with this on our lives. Mm-hmm. So that's what we'll be doing coming up. And that's all we got.
And I'll probably be calling Maccabees things like macaroni and macadoodle-doo and
we wouldn't expect anything less.
Whatever else I can think of,
right.
Because I cannot possibly take any of this seriously, especially given the politics of today, where we are. I'm just fucking done pretending that I have any politeness left for it.
Yeah.
And I guess, at me, bro.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today, and we will see you again next week.
All righty.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.